This podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with a mental health professional. Hello, family. I am Andrea Wise Brown, and you are listening to the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with Andrea Wise Brown. So I am so happy to see you here with me again, family, because we are here to grow together. I am going to encourage your growth. And when you come here, this is an opportunity to do exactly that. So today we are going to talk about relationships. So there was the letter. Someone in the family, in our family, wrote in a letter. And I want to make sure that I give everyone the email so that you know how to contact me, how to contact the podcast so that you can write in your letters too when you want some advice. So someone in the family wrote in a letter, and as I read it, I said, okay, I think I want to share this with the family as a whole. That's what I want to do. And what they did was it was kind of an anonymous letter. So they put an anonymous name at the end. However, I think that it provides, like I said earlier, an opportunity for all of us to grow. All right. Because I want you to kind of see yourselves, put yourself in this person's shoes. I don't want you to judge, because this is not a space where we judge, because you can't have any growth with judgment. Remember, this is a safe space, and I am your auntie sister. So let me put on my readers so I can read you the letter, so we can process this together. Relationships, y'all. That's what we're talking about today. All right, so here we go. This is how the letter starts off. It's titled, Therapy Has Made Me, this happens to be a 30-year-old female, realize that I might be better off single and leaving my emotionally neglectful boyfriend, who is 34 years old and a male. Okay, so therapy has made me realize I might be better off single, and I should leave my emotionally neglectful boyfriend. All right. So here we go, y'all. Let me read the letter. She says, we have been together for almost 5 years. I'm getting very frustrated for not dealing with his workaholic behavior. I stupidly accepted it, and now I'm reaping the consequences. First of all, I'm going to pause. No negative self-talk. Stupidly accepted it. You're not stupid. We make decisions in life, and they may not always be healthy, but that does not mean that you're stupid. It just means that there's an opportunity to grow. So I want you guys to get that. No, stop talking badly to yourself. You can't grow when you're making yourself feel small, because as you try to expand, you're only pushing yourself right back down. So let's change our behavior, conscious behavior. I meant to say change our behavior, conscious language. We want to be conscious about what we say out our mouths, especially to ourselves. All right. So she says, accepted it, and now I am reaping the consequences. We live together and share a dog. He works from home in tech and spends Monday through Saturday working long hours. All right. So, she already mentioned that he's a workaholic, and she said that she's frustrated. Come on, y'all. Stay with me. Let's go on. So she says, I've been seeing a therapist. Good for you. I love that. I've been seeing a therapist for a month, and she has made me realize that the guy I am with is nowhere near as good as I thought he was. Oh, okay now. All right. Okay. So you had some blinders on somewhere and you was imagining that he was better. Okay. Let's go in here. Okay. I've come to realize from these sessions that I am emotionally neglected. I'm always stressed and unappreciated. No, no, no. So we don't do that. Yeah, I love the awareness though. See, therapy works, y'all. So I love the fact that she saw and realized that, yeah, she was emotionally neglected. She's always feeling stressed and she feels unappreciated. No, no, no. To keep it simple, I basically do all of the housework, most of the cooking, and we go on dates every blue moon. Okay. Choices that you make doesn't mean you're stupid, but just choices that you're making. And when you make choices, as soon as you realize that they don't serve you, then you choose something else. Simply choose something else, but no negative self-talk. Simply choose something else. She goes on to say the last date we had was on Valentine's Day about 2 months ago. Our sex life is always slacking because he's always tired. So we end up getting intimate every month if I'm lucky. So it sounds like that's once a month. Well, that's not good. I'm going to take my glasses off for this. In order to have a healthy relationship, you have to share some intimacy with your partner. Intimacy is important. Now, sex is great, and a healthy sex life with your partner is amazing because, sex brings you closer together. However, sex isn't the only way to be intimate with your partner. Some people may have issues so they can't have sex. But then there are other ways to cuddle, ways to connect. There are other things. So let's just say if a man is having erectile dysfunction and he can't act out in the way of having sex, there's other ways that he can be pleasured. There's other pleasure points in his body. In the same way for a female, if there's an issue with her sexually and she can't perform for whatever reason biologically, there's other ways that she can be pleased. And like I said, for both of them, for you to gain intimacy, because sometimes a good cuddle and nice kiss constantly can bring on intimacy. So intimacy is important in relationships. Very, very, very important. And once a month is not enough. I will say that there was a survey that was done, and what it yielded is usually in most relationships that couples have sex on average 2 times per week. 2 times per week. That's on average. Now, if you just started the relationship, if it's a brand new relationship, you may be having sex more than 2 times a week, which is great. But I'm just going to say that the national average is about 2 times a week. So at least if you are hitting it 2 times a week, because things in life just happen, right? Then you know that, we are in a healthy space in regards to having sex in a relationship. But as I said to you, intimacy is more than sex and you need to be intimate. So I'm going to go on and finish the letter, but I need you to know that. Okay. She said that they only have sex once a month. She says, I do love him, which is why I am still with him. His good traits are that he is caring, he's kind, he's generous, but he has no work-life balance. All right. So then here I go. I'm like, all right, well, I would bring him into therapy. Maybe ask your therapist if you can invite him in for a couple of sessions because maybe he needs help. Well, I'm going to say maybe he needs help with seeing how you feel and how his choices are affecting you. And sometimes, when we're in these relationships, it takes a third party like a mediator to kind of help us with that, to kind of bridge the gap. Because a lot of times people in the relationships don't really want to hear what the other person is saying because of, maybe some of their own insecurities or if they don't want to feel vulnerable with their partner or want to appear to be right and not less than, which is all goes back to insecurities and childhood stuff that we will talk about at some time. However, that's why a third party, a professionally trained third party is really helpful. Couples counseling does work. So I was going to say, let him, ask him maybe to come into counseling. And then guess what, y'all? After that, she says, next sentence, I've suggested couples therapy and he said he's not interested and doesn't believe in it. To all of the people who I've helped who said that. Okay. All right. I've explained, this is she, I've explained I'm unhappy a few times and he's done nothing to change his behavior when he knows I dislike him. Smoking and working crazy hours. So we already knew the work-life balance was off, but then she just added in smoking. So she don't like his smoking either. But she says she loves him, but it's a lot that she doesn't like about him. I need to accept he won't ever change and that love isn't strong enough, but I have no idea what to do or how to end this relationship if needed. Her question is, do I need to leave because my needs aren't being met? And I am going to say, I would never tell anyone to leave a relationship. Never. It's not up to me to tell anyone to leave the relationship. However, what I would say is that you need to continue therapy. You need to continue therapy because as you continue therapy, you will start to understand why it is that you're attracted to someone who triggers you in this way. Why are you attracted to someone and are staying in a relationship with someone who doesn't really take care of your needs? Now, I know you said that he was kind. I know that you said that he did have some good qualities, but it also sounds like you said that you were unhappy because I was getting ready to say that you may be unhappy, but you said in the letter that you were unhappy. So why are we staying anywhere where we are unhappy? Any place that doesn't serve us? So that's the question. So for me, it's not to tell you, yes, you should leave him. I would never tell anybody that they should leave a relationship unless they are being battered, being used or abused. In those cases, run. However, in this case, what I would say is you continue to work on yourself. I love when you said, I can't change him. I'm hoping, I don't know if your therapist told you that or where you got that from, honey, because you are so right. We cannot change anybody else, but the only person that we can change, the only person we have the power to change is ourselves. And so that really is what I would be working on right now. There's a saying that I heard years ago. When you don't know what to do nothing. When you feel overwhelmed with all of these thoughts of, oh, should I and could I? And you want to reach out and ask this person and that person what you should do. When you don't know what to do when you're in that space, just pause and do nothing. So, sounds like you're in that place where you're confused about this relationship. You know what you know. You know it's not a lie. So with that, you do nothing. Let it ride. This is the thing, because you can't lose out on anything that's not for you. And I know that to be true. You cannot lose out on anything that's for you. So you let that ride. But at the same time, remember, you go back to what you have power in, and what you have power in is in changing you. And I want you to work on being your best self. And you doing that is continuing those therapy sessions, because as you process with a therapist, why you even think the way that you do, why you find yourself in this position with a man who makes you unhappy, why you are finding yourself in a position with a man who doesn't want to be intimate, doesn't want to take you out, and uses work, puts work as a priority. But this is the deal. Nobody's perfect. So even more so than that, why is it that you're in a relationship with a man where you're telling him that you have these needs and he's ignoring the need? See, that's the thing, because nobody's perfect. So we'll have needs in relationships. I mean, we're two different people coming from two different perspectives, two different backgrounds coming together to live as one. So of course, you're not going to be, 100% on the same path. So you will have to compromise. You'll have to listen and open up and try to understand what the other person needs while expressing your need. But in doing so, it sounds like this is what you had been doing. And he doesn't want any part of it. Now, that's what it sounds like from your perspective. That's why I would love to hear his perspective. Honey, love, I'm talking about her partner. If you are watching this or have heard this podcast, please write in, because I would love to hear what your perspective is, so that we have both of them and then we can work it together. However, since we don't, it is up to you to work on you. So remember, you go to your therapist, and as you start to kind of pull back your layers of your childhood trauma, of the experiences that you've seen and have had, then you can kind of understand what your draw is into him, because he's not listening to you. That's the thing. Not that he's not perfect. So I need you to get that. Family, everybody else who's listening, it's not the fact that he's not perfect, but it's just the fact that he's not listening. When you say, I need help, when you said, I want you to come at least to therapy, let's talk about it. I'm going to give you a space where you talk about what it is that, that's maybe ailing you. He may have a whole nother perspective as to how what it is that you want is not serving him. But then what do we do if we had an impasse? And then my other question is, I'm wondering, does he even know that you're at a place where you're contemplating leaving him? Because he may not. It could be from maybe his family system of what he's learned growing up is that working and financially taking care of his family is a priority. So that could be what he's thinking. And what I have learned, and I will tell you this from plenty of men who've come to me who don't really want to be intimate in their relationships. So they love their partners, but they have issue with being intimate. They don't get sexually aroused by their partner. This is what I've heard from a lot of men. This usually happens as a symptom of them feeling maybe anxious, depressed, and overwhelmed. And usually 9 times out of 10 is connected to money, to lack of money. So if his priority, if what he's learned is a part of him being a good man is to provide, that could be why you see him as a workaholic. Maybe for him, he just sees it as being a good man. So all of these factors are coming in, all of these factors to be considered. However, I just threw them in because I just don't know his side of the story. But this is what's important here, is that you wrote in because you need some help. And I am so happy that you are going to talk to a therapist so that you can process your needs and your wants, and which is going to help you build your self-esteem. And then guess what? You are going to come up with that answer. Because that's what's the most important. As therapists, we can give you advice, but for me, I reflect what you already know inside of you. I help you to take all that other stuff off so that it's clear to you what the real answer is, because we hold all of the answers. I just want you to know. So you know what it is that you should do. So that's why I want you to keep working with your therapist so that you can figure it out. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit just about relationships, about what a healthy relationship is, about how we kind of come to relationships, get into relationships. And I don't know if you've ever heard any of this before, but here you go, you with your girl, and I'm going to kind of tell you about that. So what I do as a therapist in my practice, and I've said this before on the podcast, right now, you guys, we family, y'all, we are in my office. So this is where I see people. This is the couch that people sit on. You don't see my couch. My couch is across the room. But this is the space. This is the space that I created, which is safe. And it is a place for transformation. But in here, I see individuals, I see families, and I see couples. And as we're talking about couples, there are kind of like a myriad of theories that I use when I do couples counseling. And I really do believe in these theories. And I've actually helped plenty of couples reconnect, plenty of couples get to a happy, healthy place. I really do. And I have been I've been with my husband now for 31 years. So not only do I know what I know just because of what I've been taught, the theories I've been taught and the schooling that I've had, but I also practice anything that I teach. I practice it. Trust me. Trust me. I've made my own mistakes. Okay. So I am qualified to teach you something about relationships. And that's what we're going to do here today. So pretty much what I use is a myriad of theories. So there's the Gottman theory on relationships. There's the Imago theory. And then I'm going to put in the Wise Brown theory because, my name's Andrea Wise Brown. So it's a mishmash. So I kind of mixed them together. But pretty much this is how it goes. So if you think about it, like I said, you have two different people in the world. You find somebody that you're attracted to and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be with them. I get butterflies when I'm with them and I don't want to walk away from them. And that's just how it kind of starts off. So you're attracted to someone, but you have to remember it's two different people who have two different perspectives, two different DNAs, with two different histories coming together to live as one. Coming together to live as one. This is so interesting because you have two people, and let's just imagine, I love to look at perception as having on glasses. So two different people with two different pairs of glasses. When you see each other, and you start hanging out with each other and you get those butterflies, then that's this whole infatuation period, the honeymoon period. And you looking over you like, oh my God, your glasses look good. And then he looking at you and she looking at you like, oh my God, your glasses look good. But then you hang out, you spend time together and poof, you're in a relationship. You start living together and spending time together. Now you want your glasses to be the same. You want this person to have your glasses, and then that person wants you to have his or her glasses. How does that work? Well, that starts some conflict. But anywho, you can go to therapy and kind of work through the conflict because the reality is your partner really can be a conduit into you working out your own personal issues so that you become your best self. That's the thing that I love about relationships. I need you to hear me on that. Your partner, you get you a partner who you love, who will ride or die with you, and your partner can really be a way to helping you become your best self. So stick with me because I'm going to teach you that, because I think a lot of relationships fail. Pretty much the new research shows that about 51% of relationships fail, of marriages fail. So a lot of relationships fail because each person wants the other person to wear their glasses. They want them to see life the way they see life. And that's just not what it is. But if you listen to me and you hear me on this, it's really about thinking about your partner as being someone who can actually help you become your best self. And that does not mean that you give all of you and you keep doing for the other person. And so that makes you your best self because you're a good handy woman, or you're a good maid, or you're a good cook because you keep serving them. That's not what I'm saying. Like in the letter that we talked about earlier, it's not about you serving your partner, especially when your partner doesn't serve you. You want to serve each other. But the goal in having a healthy relationship is having two people in a relationship with the goal of trying to become their best selves, their most authentic selves, and then respecting each other's growth and giving each other grace and space to grow. Got me? Trying to be your best selves together and providing the space and the grace for each other to grow into your most authentic selves. I want to bring you back to the letter and back to why I'm saying that I believe her name may have been Penelope. I think that's what she used. I'm not sure. But bringing you back to Penelope's story as to the why. Why is it that I keep wanting to stay with someone who I feel like ignores me, doesn't want to have sex with me, doesn't take me out, doesn't make me want to feel special? The why. Oh, so in therapy, what she's going to learn and what I'm hoping if she keeps going is the why. So you'll go back to childhood and think about those developmental stages as you work with a therapist to discover, oh, this is why I'm attracted to this. This is why I'm attracted to this. And then all of those holes in that esteem that were taken out, Penelope now, through therapy and doing her work, will get to refill those holes with all kinds of exercises, and exercise is one of them, but coping skills, telling her story through validation, through different types of therapy, but within this therapy session, we'll start to plug up those holes, build back that esteem. And once she does that, then she will realize, whether I should leave, because this is no good for me anymore. I'm no longer even attracted to this anymore. Like I can love him and I can walk away, or whether, I don't want to leave. I just think I want to stay. But yet and still give him an ultimatum. Either you come with me to therapy and we work this thing out. You work on you. I work on me being a better me so that we can make this relationship work. So that is why I was telling you that the importance of therapy for her individually is going to help her make the decision as to what it is that she needs to do, because our answers are always inside. And the blessing in this relationship is that, I'm going back to what I started off by saying, being in a relationship with someone can help you be a better you, because it's not about changing them. But for me, it was all of these red flags that taught me about her. If he's this, that, this, boop, beep, bop, and all those other things, why are you still attracted to him? What did you learn in childhood? What was taken away from you and your self-worth? And how is it that we can work on fixing that? Because when you fix that, then you can make a healthy decision as to how you want to move forward in your life. All right, guys. So This is the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast. I am Andrea Wise Brown, your mental health expert. And family, I can't wait to see you guys back at the next episode. So if you want to reach out to me, send me your letters, your concerns, questions, please email me at mhialpodcast@gmail.com. See you next episode. This podcast is hosted by Andrea Wise Brown and produced by Tierra Burns.